All right, welcome to day two. Thank you for joining us. We're on to item 23, Comprehensive Multimodal Corridor Plan Destiny.
Chair Grisby.
Oh, we got to do a roll and all that. I apologize. Wow, I'm just flying ahead. Okay, thank you. Mr. Hall, please take us away with roll call and instructions.
Great, thank you, Chair. Commissioner Bradshaw. Commissioner Cruz. Commissioner Eager.
Here.
Commissioner Elliott. Vice Chair Falcone.
Here.
Commissioner Gardino.
Present.
Commissioner Lugo. Commissioner Mann.
Here.
Commissioner Tiffany. Chair Grisby.
Present.
Senator Cortese. Assemblymember Wilson. Chair, we have quorum.
Thank you.
And now for our webinar logistics. Welcome everyone to day two of the August 2025 CTC meeting in San Diego. The meeting agenda is located on our website at www.catc.ca.gov. All meeting presentations for today's meeting are available on the Commission Meetings page of our website under the View Download Meeting Materials tab. Any document the CTC creates can be translated into any language you need. Simply email us at ctc@catc.ca.gov and we'll have them returned to you as quickly as possible. American Sign Language translation is being provided on the webinar. You should see the translators on the screen. Live closed captioning is also available. Please select the Show Captions tab at the bottom of your screen. There are a number of language options available there to choose from. Presenters, if you're on the agenda to make a presentation, please do your best to be succinct. Please remember to speak at a steady pace to allow our translating services adequate time for accurate translation. If you're presenting remotely, we hope that you turn on your camera during your presentation if you have one. Members of the public, we welcome comments from the public as a part of each item at this meeting. For those attending in person, please submit a speaker slip to the clerk. That's me up here in the front. And as a clarification, there was a basket in the back that had a sign indicating that you could drop slips there. Please do not do that. Please bring them up to the front to me. For those attending via Zoom, you should see the webinar control panel, likely located on the bottom of your screen. There you'll find the raise hand and Q&A tabs. We encourage you to use the raise hand feature as early into the item as you can to give the system time to acknowledge you. Commission staff will let you know when it's your turn to make your comment. Alternately, you may use the Q&A tab to submit your comment. Please be sure to include the agenda item number you are commenting on. Commission staff will read the comment on your behalf. As a reminder, each registered attendee is provided a unique link and phone number to access the webinar. These should not be shared with other participants, as they are registered to a specific attendee and can create confusion for staff when making comments. For all meeting attendees, do your best to be concise. Be sure that your comments add new information. If you agree with the comments of the previous speakers, simply make that statement. Please remember to speak at a steady pace and allow our translating services adequate time for accurate translation. And since we often have many speakers, we ask you to make your point in 2 minutes or less. If for some reason we have many speakers on any single topic, we reserve the right to limit comments to 1 minute if needed. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Now on to item 23, Destiny.
Commissioners, tab 23 is an informational item concerning an update to the Commission's Comprehensive Multimodal Corridor Plan Guidelines, which are an update to guidelines previously adopted in 2018. The guidelines are a resource for applicant agencies to the Solutions for Congested Corridors program. The update is intended to produce a more streamlined document that aligns with the current Solutions for Congested Corridors program guidelines and provides up-to-date planning resources. Changes to the guidelines are shown in bold and yellow highlight. In addition to streamlining language and updating policy and technical references, The guidelines update encourages equitable outcomes and robust engagement with historically impacted communities and marginalized groups. Commission staff hosted a virtual kickoff workshop on May 22nd, 2025, to discuss the guidelines development process and proposed changes. Draft guidelines were released for a 30-day comment period on July 1st that closed on August 1st. A second workshop was held on July 22nd, 2025, to provide an update for stakeholders to ask questions on the draft guidelines. To date, we have received comments from regional agencies, Caltrans, and a member of the Equity Advisory Committee. Two themes emerged from stakeholder feedback that will be addressed in the next version. First, clarification was requested on the new CAPTI language to confirm that while we are encouraging these plans to be VMT neutral, this is not a requirement. Second, regional agencies have requested clarification on the applicability of the updated guidelines to corridor plans that are underway. We will clarify that the guidelines apply to plans initiated or updated after final adoption of the guidelines. Thank you to everyone that commented. Staff will post the comments we received on the Commission website following this meeting. Staff intends to present a final draft at the October CTC meeting, with final adoption anticipated in December. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Destiny. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the dais? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you.
So much. Next up is item 24, Tim.
Thank you. Commissioners, tab 24 is an action item related to the Commission's evaluation of Caltrans' progress in meeting asset management performance targets. As required by government and streets and highways codes, Caltrans reported to the Commission at the June 2025 CTC meeting on progress towards meeting the targets and performance measures established for state highways. Streets and Highways Code states that annually the Commission shall evaluate effectiveness of Caltrans in reducing deferred maintenance and improving road conditions on the state highway system, as demonstrated by the progress made towards achieving the goals set forth in SB 1. As described in the benchmark report, reported conditions of all pavement classes and culverts are exceeding the Commission adopted 2024 year-end benchmarks. Traffic management systems or transportation management systems and bridges are within 7.3% and 2% respectively of those benchmarks. Caltrans has also reported they have met or on track to meet the 2027 targets for all primary assets other than the Transportation Management Plan bridge target. While Caltrans will continue to aggressively focus on addressing poor condition bridges, current projections are that they will fall short of meeting that target. Supplementary asset conditions are updated every even year. The conditions for most of the supplementary assets remain relatively level as compared to 2 years ago. However, the conditions of pump plants and bike and pedestrian infrastructure had notable improvements. There were changes in the conditions for transportation-related facilities, which attributed to the implementation of a more accurate inspection-based assessment, replacing an age-based condition metric that was used in the past. Commission staff will continue to monitor and work with Caltrans to help address challenges to optimize the likelihood of meeting all performance targets. Overall, the data provided in the 24-25 benchmark report is evidence of progress towards reducing deferred maintenance and improving road conditions on the state highway system. Prior to my recommendation, I thought with Mike Kiever on the dais today, we should also continue our trend from yesterday and wishing him the best in his retirement. With that said, staff recommends the Commission approve the findings of this evaluation and that the evaluation be included in the Commission's annual report to the legislature.
All right, thank you so much, Tim. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
All right, any questions, comments from the dais? Past Chair Gardino.
Thank you, Chair Grisby. I just want to take the opportunity to shine the light on the work that Caltrans and our team have done. We measure what matters in life, and when Senate Bill 1 was passed, when many of us on this dais and in this audience advocated for its passage and thoughtful and thorough implementation. It was to see results like this. And I would just reference the matrix on one of the first pages of the findings as we look at pavement conditions. Not only that we're measuring it, but that we are making such solid progress. And when we have fallen behind in some areas, we call it out so that we can improve. So I just want to thank your teams once again for this just tremendous work. And since this is an action item, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion if that pleases the chair.
Great, thank you. I'm a +1 in your comments. Thanks so much. So we have a motion. Any other questions or comments from the dais? Hearing none, is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you, Tim. Next up is item 25, Alika.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, great. Tab 25 is an information item presenting an overview of the Active Transportation Resource Center, or the ATRC, along with an update on the 2025 Active Transportation Program Symposium. The ATRC is funded through the Active Transportation Program, through technical assistance programs, workshops, and training opportunities for both infrastructure and non-infrastructure education and encouragement projects. The ATRC aids and offers resources to program stakeholders throughout the state. Caltrans Headquarters Division Chief of Local Assistance, Dee Lamb, will provide a short presentation of all ATRC activities that aim to assist Active Transportation Program partners to increase their opportunity for success in the program. Before I turn things over to Dee, I wanted to provide an update on the 2025 Active Transportation Program Symposium scheduled for this October 22nd through 23rd. The symposium is co-hosted by the Commission and Caltrans and will be held at the UC Davis Conference Center. The symposium is a forum where Active Transportation Program stakeholders can discuss and learn about current issues and share best practices relating to active transportation projects and activities. The 2025 symposium will feature plenaries, workshops, and breakout sessions on various topics such as climate and resiliency, impactful non-infrastructure programs, rural main streets, tribal agency partnerships for successful projects, and implementing street safety for the disabled community. I wanted to take a minute to highlight a couple of breakout sessions. The Tribal Agency Partnership breakout session will focus on the coordination and collaboration between the Karuk Tribe and Caltrans District 2 to deliver the ATP Cycle 5 Happy Camp Complete Streets project. Speakers will share strategies for tribal agency collaboration, lessons learned, and leveraging local agencies' partnerships with tribal communities to achieve shared active transportation goals. The Implementing Street Safety for the Disabled Community session includes disability advocates as speakers who will share their expertise in universal design principles and how incorporating such principles in transportation planning and infrastructure will inform better design decisions for communities throughout California. Commissioners, as some of you may already know, Chair Grisby, Vice Chair Falcone, Commissioner Eager, and Commissioner Lugo have graciously offered to participate in the 2025 symposium. We are very much looking forward to commissioners providing remarks at the symposium and contributing to various breakout session topics. I want to take this opportunity to extend a welcome and invitation to all active transportation stakeholders to join Commission and Caltrans staff at the 2025 ATP Symposium this fall. All information, including the agenda, list of speakers, and session topics will be available on the ATRC's website next week at catpresources.org. Registration is currently open and will close on October 14th, 2025. Early bird registration is available until August 31st. With that, I will turn things over to Dee Lamb, who is there in person.
Hey, good morning. All right, so Dee Lamb, Division Chief of Local Assistance here at Caltrans. Always a pleasure to present to all who are in attendance. Chair Grisby, Vice Chair Falcone, and our short timer Chief Deputy Kiever wanted to say many thanks to your mentorship, and then all the commissioners and those in attendance today. Okay, little overview of Active Transportation Resource Center for everybody today. It's always a privilege to speak on behalf of all partners that help make these programs possible and seek or receive the benefits of these programs. So with that, next slide. Okay, simple but impactful mission. Active Transportation Resource Mission is to provide resources, technical assistance, and training to transportation partners across California to increase opportunity for success of active transportation projects. Over to the next slide. The Active Transportation is administered by Caltrans Division of Local Assistance. Although my name, just like Casey said, right, although my name is on this book item, I definitely do want to extend just many thanks to all the partners and especially my staff back at the ranch, our Office of State Programs. Many hours within this program to make it possible. All right, so we collaborate, like I said, state agencies, universities, consultants to provide resources that support all active transportation program project types. The ATRC has steadily grown over the years and has supported the ATP since cycle 1. Next slide. Partners, I can't say enough that this program, the success of this program wouldn't be possible without partners, right? So we're supported by a wide range of partners, including, of course, the California Transportation Commission, Lori Waters and her team, the California Department of Public Health, the UC Institute of Transportation Studies, the California State Long Beach. These partners help extend the expertise, and that's so critical, and the outreach statewide. All right, next slide. So what we offer. So we provide trainings and webinars on bike and pedestrian design, planning and safety, one-on-one technical assistance and support for both infrastructure and non-infrastructure projects. And of course, tools and resources tailored to ATP needs. Over to achievements. So in over 10 years of work, we developed, next slide, sorry about that, highly effective disadvantaged communities technical assistance program that I know we're all very proud of, provided hundreds of pre-application and post-application award ATP, project consultation, and just as important, an extensive resource library and updated key data tools like the transportation injury mapping system and the street story for the use in ATP applications. Next slide, current efforts. Some of the current efforts include the ATP Cycle 8 Disadvantaged Community Technical Assistance Program, which will support over 30 jurisdictions and tribes. This is our largest cohort to date. Non-infrastructure technical assistance from the California Department of Public Health, supporting applicants with public and health-informed resources. And then updates to the California Active Transportation Benefit Cost Tool. Okay. And then there's next slide on additional current efforts. In addition to that work, we're developing a California Active Transportation Data Portal, which will serve as the central hub for bicycle and pedestrian count data across California. There's a Count Plus, again, a pilot at its infancy, including additional performance metrics that go beyond counts. And then lastly, like Elisa said, next slide, the symposium. I can't stress enough the participation that's needed by all to attend the symposium. So I know Alika gave a wonderful summary of what's to come at the symposium. I will not expand any further, but wish to see you all there. And that concludes the presentation. Any questions, definitely directed to the ATRC program. Lori and her team are always available and has helped us through the program over many years, as well as my staff within local assistance. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, Dee. Great hearing about the center and very excited about this symposium. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone from the dais, questions, comments? Commissioner Lugo, morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair. So I'm present now online, and I'm very excited about this upcoming event. And I want to just highlight that I'm really interested in seeing how we can further develop the conversation in advance of the event and at the event itself around really rethinking whether active transportation is a special interest area that's worthy of notable but minor investment, which is how we currently treat it, or if it's actually something that is meant to transform how Californians relate to our transportation systems and really rethinking the scale of transformation that's needed and what does that look like beyond the resources we're currently giving to active transportation. And I really think that is going to take the shape of needing to know more about labor and jobs. What do those pieces look like in active transportation currently? How could we be moving towards having bigger expectations for how labor and jobs are invested in through active transportation projects? So I'm really looking forward to thinking about that myself, working with commission staff to get ready for the symposium and then being part of the conversation. And appreciate the work from Caltrans staff and ATRC on putting this together.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions, comments from commissioners? Thank you so much, Dee and Alika, for the presentations. Next up, we're doing the information calendar. Justin.
Thank you, Commissioners. Tabs 26 through 36 are information items that have been reviewed and found to have no issues raised by the Commission staff. Therefore, individual items will not be presented unless requested by a Commissioner. Please make note of the change list for tab 35. If there are no questions, that will conclude the presentation of the information calendar.
Great, thank you, Justin. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments, Mr. Dias? Thank you so much. Next up, we have the consent calendar. Justin again.
Commissioners, tabs 37 through 59 are action items on the consent calendar. Please make note of the change list for tabs 39, 40, 47, 49, 53, and 54. Additionally, there is one last minute change that is not on the change list. For tab 40, resolution C 22577 was withdrawn prior to the CTC meeting, but after the posting of the change list. This brings down the total number of resolutions of necessity to 12. Staff recommends your approval of tabs 37 through 59.
Great, thank you, Justin. Any public comment?
Yes, we have one written public comment for item 39. LATIP revenue comes directly from the sale of SR 710 corridor properties. These funds exist because of decades of displacement, deferred maintenance, and community destabilization. The law requires these funds to be used for transportation improvements in the corridor. However, there is no public, itemized accounting of which properties were sold, to whom, for what price, and how the net proceeds were allocated. Without this transparency, there is no way to ensure compliance with government code. That is all for public comment.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Any questions or comments from the dais? Is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you, Justin. We are now on to item 60. Ahmet.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 60 is an action item requesting commission authorizations for Caltrans to directly negotiate a long-term airspace lease with AR Energy LLC. The lease is required because the proposed fiber optic line will cross over State Route 46 in Kern County within the state's right-of-way. And it's also privately owned and falls outside the department's utility accommodation policy. As such, Caltrans will need to negotiate an airspace lease at fair market value before an encroachment permit can be issued. Both the lease and the permit are necessary to facilitate the installation of the new fiber communication line. Your approval today will allow the state to initiate the negotiations, and it's important to note that Caltrans will return to the commission at a future date for final approval of the negotiated terms. Staff recommends your approval.
Thank you. Any public comment?
We do have one attendee with their hand raised. I'd like to call on now. Cynthia Wright, please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Wright. I live in a Caltrans homes for 20 years. This house holds our history and our culture, and it has been full of hardships as well. We've had rats, leaky roofs, fire, sewage in the basement, flooding, and lead poisoning that affected my grandson. Through all of it, we have stayed, and we've stayed because it is our home. My goal is simple. It is to make it safe, functional, and comfortable for my family, and to preserve it for the future.
Miss, this is not,
The proper time to do it.
yeah, this is a different item.
Okay.
Apologize. Thank you so
No, I
much.
apologize. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
I'm seeing one other attendee with their hand raised, Kelly Brinkman. I will, please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Good morning. I would like to hear Cynthia, because you ripped right through item number 36 without time for anybody to comment. You grouped
Pardon, Miss,
one
this is a
item-
different item.
together, and no one.
All right, you can comment at the public comment section. On to item, actually, no, we need to do a vote. Is there a motion for this item? So moved by Commissioner Leanne Eager. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Now we're on to item 61. Cherry.
Tab 61 is an action item to accept the environmental document and approve future consideration of funding for the M&J Muni Forward Lines Phase 1 project in the city and county of San Francisco. The lead agency, the city and county of San Francisco, adopted an environmental impact report and statement of overriding considerations for this project. Finding benefits outweigh the impacts. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval.
All right, thank you, Cherry. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the dais? Is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany. Is there a second? Seconded by Vice Chair Falcon. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you, Cherry. Now we're doing items 62 and 63 together. Casey.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 62 and 63 are both allocation requests that exceed 20% above the programmed STIP amount. Tab 62 is an allocation of $64,453,000 for the construction of the Five Cities Multimodal Transportation Network Enhancement Project in San Luis Obispo County. The project will convert the existing truck climbing lane. Skip a button, sorry. The allocation includes both Trade Corridor Enhancement Program and State Transportation Improvement Program funds. The increase of approximately $4 million, which is split between STIP and local funds, is due to refinements made during final design with updated quantities and unit prices reflecting current market conditions and recent price escalations. Please note that this project is on change list. Jumping to tab 63. 63 is an allocation of $24,048,000 for the construction of the Route 49 Improvement Southbound Truck Climbing Lane project. This allocation includes both Trade Corridor Enhancement Program and State Transportation Improvement Program funds. The increase reflects design phase refinements as well, including the addition of retaining walls, as well as updated quantities and unit prices that account for the current market conditions and recent price escalations.
The schedule also increased by 120 working days, which requires additional support costs. The project is also included on change list. Staff has reviewed both requests and found them consistent with each of their program's guidelines, and staff recommends your approval.
Thank you, Casey. Is there any online comment?
There is no online public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a card in the room. Rich Murphy. Good morning.
Thank you for having us here in San Diego. I'm Rich Murphy with San Luis Obispo Council of Governments. Just speaking in support of this allocation, this is a big milestone for SLOCOG as the nominating agency for this Trade Corridor Enhancement Program project. We are faced with the responsibility of the cost increases, and as a non-self-help county, that's a bit of a challenge. But this corridor south of San Luis Obispo clearly being more of the jobs hub, further south in the 5 cities, the housing is a critical anchor project, on-system anchor project. I just want to state that the district's been very transparent with us with respect to the cost increases. They've done everything possible to keep us on track for this major moment, as opposed to perhaps deferring to a later month, later in the current fiscal year, which we would have been entitled to. But we scrambled, your local assistants or the department's local assistants, staff and headquarters and at the district level, and as well as our friends from Mariposa County provided a loan in federal CMAQ funds. So there's a number of levers there that can be pulled and worked through, even for a non-self-help county like us. And with respect to the bundle and the projects that complement this project, we remain fully committed. We have the Avila Beach Drive Roundabout Project and Mobility Hub in construction right now. It's an off-system improvement right in this area. The active transportation network between San Luis Obispo and the 5 cities is in full throes of final design. We received the allocation for phase 1. If I could do a shout out for Bob Jones. We know some of us know Bob Jones, fantastic conservationist, but that runs along San Luis Creek. So all that said, we're all in and we're staying in and we're making it happen. And we hope that Director Taylor's ankle heals so that we can get her a shovel, a forgiving shovel. Maybe Darren over there at District 5 can work something out, maybe a little sponge or something cushiony. But we'd love to have you for the groundbreaking later, probably likely in the early part of the calendar year of 2026. So thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. Now we're going to move to comment here from the dais. Is there any comment or questions from the dais? Commissioner Eager.
Just to say, I did tour that area and this is a very important project and I'm a big fan of truck climbing lanes, so I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner. So we have a motion. Is there a second or any comments? Seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motions is approved. Now we're going to Tim for items 64 through 79.
Thank you. Commissioners, I will be taking tabs 64 through 79 together with a recommendation at the end. Tab 64 through 79 are initial allocations for construction capital and construction support for SHOP projects with at least one of the phases exceeding the programmed amount by more than 20%. This is a larger number than we typically see for these types of increased initial allocations, but this would be indicative of Caltrans delivering a large number of projects in May and June earlier this year. These projects include many different types of projects, including pavement, bridges, drainage, maintenance facilities, major damage, and ADA curb ramps. These initial allocations total just over $250 million, which includes an amount of just over $75 million over the programmed amounts for those phases. Staff has reviewed the projects and the book items for tabs 64 through 79 and recommends approval.
Thank you, Tim. Any public comment?
Yes, we have 2 written comments, one for item 70. This comes from Ricky Alderson. The current LAT-IP guidelines fail to ensure that funds directly benefit those most harmed by the SR 710 project. Government Code 54237.3 requires that proceeds from the sale of excess SR seven.
This is a it's not on the items that we have.
That next public comment was also for SR 710 projects. And I am not seeing any other public comment currently. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions or comments from the dais, or is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're on to items 80 through 83. Tim.
We're taking tabs 80 through 83 together with a recommendation at the end. Please note there is a slight edit to tab 83 as identified on the change list. Tabs 80 through 82 are all supplemental fund allocation requests for the plan, specifications, and estimate phase for SHOP projects. And tab 83 is a supplemental fund allocation to re-advertise a SHOP pavement preservation project. These allocations total approximately 14 million over the previously allocated amounts for these phases, not including any prior supplemental or delegated G12 funding already received for these projects. Staff has reviewed the projects and book items for tabs 80 through 83 and recommends approval.
Thank you, Tim. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions or questions from the dais, comments? Is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're on to items 84 through 86. Tim.
Thank you. And yes, I'll be taking tabs 84 through 86 together with a recommendation at the end. Tabs 84 through 86 are all supplemental fund allocation requests for construction capital to award 2 bridge and 1 safety improvement SHOP project for construction contracts. These allocations totaled $2,833,000 over the previously allocated amounts for these phases. Staff has reviewed the projects and the book items for tabs 84 through 86 and recommends approval.
Thank you, Tim. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the dais, or is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Items 87 through 90. Also Tim.
Thank you. I will be taking them together with a recommendation at the end. Tabs 87 through 90 are all supplemental fund allocation requests for construction capital and/or construction support for SHOP projects, including 2 bridge seismic retrofit projects, a safety improvements project, and a maintenance facility project to complete construction. These allocations total $31,250,000 over the previously allocated amounts for these phases. These increases do not include any prior supplemental or delegated G12 funding already given for these phases. Before giving my recommendation, I would like to summarize the total SHOP increases. The total increases related to initial allocations that exceed the program amount by more than 20% and supplemental fund requests from the SHOP at the August CTC meeting is approximately $125 million. Staff has reviewed the projects and book items for tabs 87 through 90 and recommends approval.
All right, thank you, Tim. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments or questions or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Item 91, Casey.
Tab 91 is a supplemental request to allocate $2,900,000 in construction support for the STIPS State Route 156 improvement project in San Benito County. The project will convert the 2-lane conventional highway into a 4-lane expressway. In June 2023, the commission approved a $13,808,000 supplemental allocation for construction capital to address differing site conditions, including unstable soil that required contract orders and extended construction schedule by 250 working days. The project is 90% complete with approximately 30 days remaining. This supplemental request will provide the construction support needed to complete work under the revised schedule. Please note this project is also on change list. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends your approval.
Thank you so much. On to public comment. Is there any?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? Commissioner Tiffany.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to just make a couple brief comments and then also make the motion. This Highway 156 project is something that has been around for many years, probably 25 years plus. Seems like a big part of my lifetime. And it's finally coming to a close, 90% complete. As I was talking to District 5 Scott Eads yesterday, it's in my backyard, and anyone who's driven that corridor, which is not only a key corridor in and out of Hollister, but a key trade corridor, it's made an amazing difference in terms of traffic. So it's been a long time coming, but it's a real success story for Samuel County and the region. So thank you, Caltrans, and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
So moved by Commissioner Tiffany, and thank you for the local context. Is there a second? Commissioner Eager, seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're on to items 92 through 93. Brandy.
Commissioners, I will be presenting tabs 92 and 93 together with a recommendation at the end. Tab 92 is an action item requesting 30 million in supplemental funds for the construction phase of the locally administered, multi-funded TCEP and TIRCP Turnbull Canyon Road Grade Separation Rail Project. This project was originally awarded the additional 30 million in Important Freight Infrastructure Program funds, which was a one-time funding program created in the fiscal year 23-24. However, in 24-25, state budget included a 20 million reduction to the program specifically directed at grade separation projects, including the Turnbull Canyon Road Separation Project. Assembly Bill 173 required CalSTA to coordinate with the department and the commission to identify alternative funding sources for grade separation projects that lost funding. In May of 2025, CalSTA awarded the agency the additional 30 million in supplemental funding under the TIRCP Cycle 6 General Supplemental Funds. Tab 93 is an action item requesting 184,000 in supplemental funds for the plan's specifications and estimate phase for the TIRCP expanding transit service and growing zero emissions fleets on California's North Coast charging stations component in Del Norte County. The proposal came out higher than expected due to the extreme remote location of Crescent City, and it's increasingly challenging and expensive to transport and provide goods and services to the region. The window between the original cost estimate in 2023 and the proposal deadlines in 2025 saw an unexpected spike in market rates, particularly for specialized services in remote areas. In addition, electric vehicle charging infrastructure is not well established in this region and has limited public charging stations. Staff has reviewed these requests and finds them consistent with the TIRCP allocation policy, the program update, and the Trade Corridor Enhancement Program guidelines. Staff recommends approval of tabs 92 and 93.
Thank you, Brandy. Is there any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? Motion to approve Commissioner Cruz. Is there a second? Commissioner Eager makes the second. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you. Now we're on to item 94. John.
Yes. Tab 94 is an action item to approve amendments to the 2024 shop. There are a few changes on the change list to a few of the items, and with those changes noted, These amendments will add 35 new projects to the 2024 shop and will also revise 27 projects that are currently programmed in the 2024 shop. Of the 35 new projects, 29 are coming from the major damage reservation and 6 are coming from the safety reservation. So all of the new projects are from reservations this time. And of the 27 projects that are being revised, it's kind of the same old stuff. Some are environmental splits, some are contingency projects being fully funded, and some proactive changes. So with that, staff recommends approval of tab 94.
Thank you, John. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a question, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you, John. Item 95, Kayla.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 95 is an action item to amend the local partnership formulaic program. This amendment will make the following updates to the current formulaic program of projects. Program $4,567,000 in supplemental funds to the State Route 132 Phase 2 4-lane expressway from Dakota Avenue to Needham Street project in Stanislaus County to the right-of-way phase in fiscal year 25-26. This addition of supplemental funds will result in a total of $7,784,000 in 2022 and 2024 formulaic funds on this project phase. Once the project is complete, it will improve safety for all users, reduce congestion and delays, and increase resiliency of the route. Next, deprogram $216,000 from the construction phase of the Smart Rail Operations Equipment Expansion Phase 3 project in Sonoma and Marin counties. This was identified as eligible cost savings at contract acceptance, and deprogramming these funds makes them available for future programming by the Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit District. These funds were deallocated at the June Commission meeting. This section of the book item was also updated via a yellow replacement item to reflect that these funds have not lapsed. Next, add the US 101 Multimodal Corridor Project, Segment 4E, North Cabrillo Interchange in Santa Barbara County, and program $2,511,000 to the construction phase in fiscal year 25-26. The project will construct high occupancy vehicle lanes to help reduce congestion and delays, improve goods movement, and provide a more efficient alternative route for north to south connectivity. Next, add the Vermont Transit Corridor Project in Los Angeles County and program $81,061,000 to the construction phase in fiscal year 25-26. The project will build 12.4 miles of dedicated bus lanes and enhance 26 stations at 13 different locations to provide a transit alternative along Vermont Avenue and improve transit access to major activity and employment centers. And lastly, add the Bascom Complete Street I-80 to Hamilton Avenue project in Santa Clara County and program $2,500,000 to the right-of-way phase in fiscal year 25-26. The completed project will construct community-supported complete streets and safety improvements on Bascom Avenue and close sidewalk gaps, improve pedestrian crossings, add bike and transit features, and enhance safety for all travelers. This action leaves $40,974,000 of 2022 formulaic program funding available for programming through June 30th, 2026, and $94,176,000 of 2024 formulaic program funding available for programming through June 30th, 2028. Staff recommends approval of this item.
Thank you so much. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comment, question, or Vice Chair Falcon?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Kayla. First of all, happy birthday. And in honor of your birthday, I would like to make a motion to support your items.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
All right, so moved by Vice Chair Falcon, seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you, Kayla, and happy birthday. On to item 96, Anya.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 96
is an action item to approve the Sacramento Regional Transit District's, or SAC-RT's, request to retain the state's share of proceeds generated from the sale of excess property purchased with traffic congestion.
Looks like you're frozen.
Okay. Commissioners, tab 96 is an action item to approve the Sacramento Regional Transit District's request to retain the state share of proceeds generated from the sale of excess property purchased with traffic congestion relief program funds in 2003. This request is consistent with the stipulations outlined in the agreements entered into by the state and SAC-RT. In addition, SAC-RT's proposal to use the proceeds to purchase new light rail vehicles reflects the traffic congestion relief program goals to help relieve congestion on the state's transportation systems. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval of tab 96.
Thanks, Lori. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question, comments, or a motion from the dais? Moved by Commissioner Cruz. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion is approved. Thank you. Now we're on to items 97 and 98. Kayla.
Commissioners, tab 97 and 98 will be presented together with a recommendation at the end. Tab 97 is an action item to amend the 2022 local partnership formulaic fund distribution to add $100,000 for the city of Amador. The city passed Measure K in March 2024, a quarter-cent sales tax for the sole purpose of generating revenues to fund transportation improvements. The measure went into effect on January 1st, 2025, and made the city eligible to receive formulaic funding for half of fiscal year 24-25. This funding share is available for programming and allocation for the city through June 30th, 2026. The $100,000 is being deducted from fiscal year 24-25 incentive funds, which will be redistributed in tab 98, the next item on this agenda, per LPP formulaic guidelines. Tab 98 is an action item to amend the 2024 local partnership formulaic fund distribution to redistribute the unused fiscal year 24-25 incentive funds of $18,600,000, adding $7,440,000 to the 2024 local partnership competitive program and $11,160,000 to the 2024 local partnership formulaic program. Pursuant to the 2024 local partnership formulaic program guidelines, incentive funds remaining at the end of each fiscal year shall be redistributed in the following fiscal year. 60% will be redistributed to the formulaic program and 40% to the competitive program. The $7.4 million added to the competitive program will be added to its program capacity to be used to address over-programming in the 2024 competitive program cycle, and all remaining funds will be made available for the 2026 competitive cycle. The $11.1 million added to the formulaic program will be redistributed to eligible formula agencies in fiscal year 25-26 with the following caveats. The city of Amador became a newly eligible agency during fiscal year 24-25, which qualified the city for both formulaic funds and incentive funds in the same fiscal year. The city received incentive funds at the January 2025 commission meeting, and their mid-cycle formulaic fund distribution of $100,000 was considered under tab 97 on this agenda. The $100,000 is being deducted from the formulaic portion of the fiscal year 24-25 unused incentive funds. Next, the city of Albany became eligible to receive formulaic funding beginning July 1st, 2025 as a newly eligible agency. This made them eligible for formulaic funds for the 2024 cycle with an annual distribution of 200,000 and a total of 400,000 is being deducted from the formulaic portion of the fiscal year 24-25 unused incentive funds balance. Next, during fiscal year 24-25, one agency became ineligible to continue to receive formulaic program funding. The agency's total distribution of 400,000 for the 2024 cycle is being redistributed with this action among all eligible formulaic agencies. And lastly, during the fiscal year 24-25, 3,147,000 of allocated funds lapsed due to the timely use of funds policy and are being redistributed with this action among all eligible formulaic agencies. These updates to the distribution can be found in attachment A of the book item, and staff recommends approval of both tabs 97 and 98.
Thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Cruz, or do you have a comment?
No, I just wanted to make comment real quick on Amador. It's good to see a city like Amador step up and pass a increment to make themselves eligible for the LPP program. Hope to see more local jurisdictions do the same thing in the future. Just get some projects moving. So good job on that front. I'll make a motion as well.
So moved by Commissioner Cruz, and I +1 in your comments. Going to Commissioner Gardino.
And I'm honored to second that motion and second the e-motion of welcoming the city of Amador into the Self-Help Counties, Cities and Towns Coalition.
All right, seconded by Commissioner Gardino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you. On to item 99, Leanne.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tab 99 is an action item to adopt the fiscal year 2025-26 Local Streets and Roads Funding Initial Report of eligible cities and counties. For jurisdictions to be included in the fiscal year 2025-26 Initial Eligibility Report, jurisdictions must adopt by resolution a list of projects and submit them to the Commission no later than July 1st, 2025. Commission staff received 525 out of the 540 jurisdictions adopted resolution and project list detail by July 1st. The 525 jurisdictions deemed eligible with compliant submittals for funding are identified in the fiscal year 2025-26 Initial Report of Eligible Cities and Counties in Attachment B, adopting over 2,400 projects. Commission staff have confirmed that the 15 remaining jurisdictions identified in Attachment B intend to seek subsequent funding eligibility on or by September 30th, 2025. They are expected to receive 60.9 million of the 1.7 billion estimated for the fiscal year of 2025-26. Staff recommends approval. Staff recommends the Commission adopt the fiscal year 2025-26 Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Account, Local Streets and Roads Funding Initial Report of eligible cities and counties as provided in Attachment B, and direct staff to transmit the list of eligible jurisdictions to the State Controller to begin the monthly disbursements of program funds. Submittals received after September 30th, 2025 will not be included in the subsequent eligibility list for the fiscal year 2025-26 to be adopted by the Commission at the October 2025 meeting. The Controller will recalculate and disperse those funds forfeited by existing formula amongst those jurisdictions that have been deemed eligible for the fiscal year 2025-26 funding. The Commission must adopt and submit the initial report of eligible cities and counties to the Controller on or by August 31st, 2025. Eligible cities and counties will begin receiving monthly disbursements from the Controller in September.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? Leanne Eager.
Yes, thank you. Well, first I have to say, every time they say your name, I jump like I'm supposed to report on something. But, so the ones that didn't get there in time, do we know the reason why?
We do. They're a little bit various between agencies. Some just take their resolution after the initial deadline. And then others, just because of staffing shortages, they have to delay till September.
And we work with them all
We
along
do,
to try
yes.
to get them there.
Yep.
Okay.
We make sure to get everything confirmed before we come to the August meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other questions or comments from the dais? Is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second? Seconded by Vice Chair Falcone. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you. Going to items 100 through 102. John.
Yes, I'm excited about this one on Caltrans's behalf. 100 through 102 are all action items for shop allocations. So we'll take all three of them together. Tab 100 is an action item for shop construction allocations. There are a couple changes on the change list, and with those changes, this item will allocate $1,716,352,000 for 68 shop projects. This is the most I've ever seen for shop construction allocations in one book item. In her opening remarks yesterday, Caltrans Director El Tawanzi touched on the significantly improved delivery this past year. And this unprecedented dollar amount in this book item is a reflection of not just their improved delivery, but their very strong end of year push by Caltrans to deliver their program of projects by the close of the fiscal year last year. So I certainly wanted to highlight some of the improvements that are coming from this large dollar value. These 68 projects will improve 7 bridges, 722 lane miles of pavement, 299 culverts, 314 field elements, and lots of other stuff. Those are just 4 primary asset classes. And that's not even counting all the performance we got from all the greater than 120s that Tim just presented a little while ago. I did look for some standout statistics, and what I was pleased to find out was there wasn't really one big project making up this huge allocation or one district. It really was a team effort, and every single district is represented in this giant allocation. So I thought it was just a cool team effort by Caltrans. And this level of performance metrics is what it takes for Caltrans to be able to say that we're on track to meet our performance targets, like what was being highlighted earlier, because of projects like these getting out to construction. So I commend Caltrans on their much improved delivery from this past year. So that's tab 100. And tab 101 is an action item for shop pre-construction allocations. There is a change on the change list for this item. And with that change, this item will allocate $66,248,000 for 47 shop pre-construction phases for environmental design and right-of-way. And then the last one in this group is tab 102. It's an action item to allocate $11,276,000 for the right-of-way capital phase for the Devil's Slide shop project. Most right-of-way capital allocations are delegated to Caltrans under the right-of-way annual allocation. However, the right-of-way capital allocations greater than $10 million are required to come to the commission for individual approval. What this allocation will do is it will set up a fund, it'll fund an endowment to support the environmental mitigation activities and commitments that were made as part of that Devil's Slide tunnel emergency repair project, which was completed in 2013. So with that, staff recommends approval of tabs 100, 101, and 102.
Thank you, John, and congratulations to Caltrans on this achievement. Any public comment?
There's no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. And any questions, comments from the dais?
Approval.
So you have a comment or a question?
We do have
Yeah, Vice Chair Falcone.
Yes, and I will second the motion. But right before that, first of all, I want to echo the chair's comments about congratulations to Caltrans and getting our folks working and seeing, additional movement on achieving milestones with the TAP. With all of the work and the surge of activity to realize these projects, my question is, and it's kind of similar to some of the questions I asked yesterday as it related to the Olympics, is the surge of capacity and the ability to deliver all of these projects our goal and our time here. And so I guess the question is maybe to Caltrans or to staff, what the capacity to deliver these projects with the allocations and getting folks working and getting the projects going.
I think for his last meeting, Mike should have to answer that.
Yeah, that,
My gift to you, Mike
yeah,
Huber.
thank you, Commissioner, and yeah, and thank you to CTC staff and all the work that we do together to get these projects out the door. These are, as just mentioned, asset management. These are jobs. These are us accomplishing, the things that, again, to Commissioner Gardino's earlier point, that we said we were going to do with SB1. And so we're fulfilling those commitments. We do work closely with our industry. We meet with our industry. We have a look ahead report that we provide them to say, here's what we see coming, to allow them to adjust, to prepare, to bring in, whether it's equipment, crews, and all those things. So in talking to industry, they are ready to take this work on. And so I do believe that that will not hold us back.
Great. That's great to hear. And again, it's, it speaks to really strengthening partnerships, not just within agencies and, our agencies and our other funding partners, but with private sector as well. So thank you for that. And with that, I enthusiastically second.
All right, any, Commissioner Tiffany?
Thank you, Chair. Just a follow-up to Mike. So congratulations for this big push at the end of the year. I'm curious, in looking at that, what is being done to try to spread it out maybe a little bit more to get off to a strong start? So it's not necessary to have the huge push at the end of the year.
Yeah, so thank you. And that is a topic of conversation that's come up many times over the years in my career as well. Part of this is driven by our 2-year shop cycle, our PID cycle. So there is a little bit of a rhythm that comes with delivery. But that said, as we go through the process, we do want to try to, and we're working, the districts, the headquarters program, working to try to see what we can spread out, what we can deliver earlier to try to not have the big push, because that's also something we want to do from our workload standpoint, right, as well. But I will say part of this, I feel like I'm guilty. Whenever there's something that could be delivered in the first quarter of the following year, I often will ask, can we pull that in the previous year? Because earlier is better, time is money, all that escalation. And so a lot of times we end up having a relatively quiet start to each year because we're asking them, take some risk, let's try to do it, let's push. And if we get 2/3 of them, hey, good for us, we got 2/3 of them. And so that is also part of this. So we're trying to hedge a little bit, but we are, Commissioner Tiffany, trying to see what we can do to spread that workload out more effectively.
Thank you. And as they say, timing is everything. And I suspect you somewhat orchestrated this so you could go out with a bang, Mike.
I thank my team. Yes,
$1.7 billion bang. Congratulations.
It's a big bang. Yes, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Cruz.
No, I just want to commend staff and Caltrans. I was a little skeptical early in the year that we could meet sort of the goals at the end. But as Mike pointed out, time is money, and it's important that we move these projects to construction on time, within budget, because it's just costing more for us to perform this type of work in California. So I want to thank you again, Mike, and your staff and CTC staff for hitting these marks. And if you have any issues with the industry, please let me know. I think they're poised and ready to begin the work on all this work in California. We're excited. They're excited about it. So thanks.
Excellent. Any other comments or questions from the dais? We have a motion by past Chair Gardino, a second by Vice Chair Falcon. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All the motion's approved. Now we're going to items 103 to 104. Casey.
Tabs 103 and 104 are both action items for the State Transportation Improvement Program, and I'll take them together. Tab 103 is a request to allocate $95,338,000 for the state-administered Interstate 5 Improvement Project from Route 405 to Yale Avenue, Segment 1 in Orange County. The project will add a general purpose lane in both directions, a continuous HOV lane, improvements to 3 interchanges, and new auxiliary lanes. Tab 104 is a request to allocate $998,000 to 6 locally administered STIP projects and $7,114,000 to 21 planning, programming, and monitoring projects across various counties. Staff has reviewed these requests and found them consistent with the STIP guidelines, and staff recommends your approval.
Thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the dais, or is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Going to item 105 through 106, Kayla.
Commissioners, tabs 105 and 106 will be presented together with a recommendation at the end. Tab 105 is an allocation action item for $9,780,000 in local partnership formulaic program funds for the I-5 improvement from Yale to State Route 55 Segment 2 project in Orange County. The project will address congestion, upgrade lighting, provide continuous access to high occupancy vehicle lanes, and enhance freeway operations. Tab 106 is an action item to allocate $2,400,000 in local partnership formulaic program funds for the Inland Slope Rehabilitation Project Phase 2 in Orange County. The project will secure 5 areas experiencing soil instability and mass wasting to improve the Los Angeles, San Diego, San Luis Obispo railroad structural integrity. Staff has reviewed these requests and found them to be consistent with program guidelines. Staff recommends your approval of tabs 105 and 106.
Thank you, Kayla. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the dais? Hearing none, do we have a motion? So moved by Vice Chair Falcon, seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're going to item 107, Jaden.
Thank you, Commissioners. Tabs, are we taking 107 and 108 together?
That is correct, yes.
Thank you.
107, 108.
Commissioners, tabs 107 and 108 are action items to consider approval to allocate $22,309,000 for 13 locally administered active transportation program projects, as well as an advanced allocation of $132,000 for the locally administered Bell Street Safe Routes to School project in Sacramento County, which is programmed in fiscal year 26-27. I'd like to highlight a project from each book item before giving my recommendation. Within tab 107, we're allocating $195,000 for the PA and ED phase of the Wolf Creek Community and Connectivity Project in the city of Grass Valley. This project was awarded ATP funds in Cycle 7, and this project will construct 9,700 feet of shared use paths, 1 pedestrian bridge, enhance pedestrian and bicycle crossings at 6 intersections, and other site amenities such as shade trees, signage, and trash cans that will enhance the safety and comfort for all active transportation users. Within tab 108, we are allocating $132,000 for the construction non-infrastructure phase to the Bell Street Safe Routes to School project, which will conduct bike and pedestrian education and encouragement activities, creative suggested route maps, form project steering committees, develop an outreach plan, develop an evaluation plan, and a summary report for 3 elementary schools within the project area. Staff has reviewed tabs 107 and 108 and recommends your approval.
Thank you, Jaden. Any public comment? Oh,
There-
that's right. I have a card, but is there anything online?
There is no online public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. In the room, we have Jason Nutt from the city of Santa Rosa. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Grisby, Vice Chair Falcone. My name is Jason Nutt. I'm the Assistant City Manager for the City of Santa Rosa. And on behalf of the City Council and the City Manager, we want to express our appreciation for the Commission for taking on potential approval of a $12 million grant for the US 101 Bicycle and Pedestrian Overcrossing Project as listed in tab 107. That particular project is going to create a safe connection between East and West Santa Rosa crossing Highway 101, which is currently a barrier for bicycle and pedestrian movements in our town. And it's consistent and a key component within our active transportation plan in an effort to not only improve those connections, but also enhance our climate action goals and our Vision Zero goals. By enabling residents to walk and roll between these destinations, the overcrossing will enhance our community connectivity and really make us a place that we've been wanting to see for a long time. It does connect regional, commercial, as well as a high school and Santa Rosa Junior College. It's a particularly exciting day for me. I've been on this project for over 20 years. I'm excited to say that with the approval, should it be approved, that we'll be able to go to our bid solicitation. We'll be looking at groundbreaking in the spring of 26 and project completion in late 27. It's a beautiful bridge product. If you're interested in seeing more information, feel free to see our website at srcity.org/bike-ped overcrossing. And I just want to express appreciation to all of the support and effort we've had from Caltrans District 4. They've been an amazing partner, not only with this project, but other key multimodal safety projects that are going on in and around the city of Santa Rosa through Highway 101. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for joining us and congrats on getting this far. Is there any public comment? No, we already covered that. Anyone from the dais has a question or comment? Is there a motion to approve? So moved by Commissioner Tiffany, seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion is approved. Now we're going to tabs 109 and 110. Sheila.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I will present tabs 109 and 110 together with the recommendation at the end. Tab 109 is a request to allocate $32,100,000 for the state-administered Trade Corridor Enhancement Program, Castroville Boulevard Interchange Project on the state highway system in Monterey County. This project will construct a grade-separated intersection that will improve safety, reduce congestion, and enhance freight movement along State Route 156. It will also add bicycle and pedestrian improvements and reroute truck traffic away from local roads, improving access to community destinations. Tab 110 is a request to allocate $129 million for the locally administered multi-funded Trade Corridor Enhancement Program and Infrastructure for Rebuilding America Program Otay Mesa Eastport of Entry Construction. Underground utilities and grading work package project on the state highway system in San Diego County. This project will construct essential infrastructure for the future Otay Mesa East Port of Entry, including fine grading, utilities installation, perimeter security fencing, and procurement of key components. Ultimately, the project will reduce border wait times, ease congestion, reduce emissions, and strengthen cross-border trade and mobility in the San Diego, Baja California region. Staff have reviewed the allocation request presented under tabs 109 and 110 and recommend approval.
Thank you, Sheila. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from the dais, questions or comments or a motion? Okay, Vice Chair Falcone.
Okay. Go for it.
I
So much
assume you
expectation.
would, so that's why I said, okay,
Thank you.
I was thinking about that.
No, thank you to CTC staff for all the work on item 110. And just I've spoken a lot on this project. This is really important to start spending the money, especially the federal funding, as soon as possible. And Many of you saw, the area where the project will be when, for those that attended the SR11 Siempre Viva interchange event and saw the vision of hopefully someday soon a full operating facility that will help relieve congestion for about over $50 billion of trade that crosses Otay Mesa every year. And that equates to about, I think, 1 billion trucks. And so with that, I am very happy to make the motion to support both 109 and 110. Thank you.
All right. Moved by Vice Chair Falcone, and thank you for all your work. Seconded by Commissioner Eager. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Brandy, item 111.
Commissioners, tab 111 is an action item to approve allocations totaling $262,989,000 for 11 transit and intercity rail capital program projects. The Sacramento Regional Transit District is allocating 5 projects for $25,045,000, including increasing ridership through system enhancement, train technology implementation component. They will be upgrading equipment on board trains to improve communications, infrastructure, and maintain ADA compliance, replacing digital messaging system with LCD signage, enhancing the ridership through system improvements, public engagement and workforce development component, the enhancing ridership through system improvements, public engagement and workforce development Cal ITIP platform validator and smart FVM integration platform validators and QR reader integration, enhancing ridership through system improvements, the Cal ITIP platform validator and smart FVM integration closed loop integration and physical card stock purchase. And one more for Cal ITIP is their fare vending machine software integration. The Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit District is allocating $33,359,000 for phase 1 of their progressive design build for the Windsor to Healdsburg North Extension. The Southern California Rail Authority is allocating $46,147,000 for 3 Southern California optimized rail expansion projects: Marengo Siding Extension, Ventura Track and Signal Structures, and their Tunnel 26 rehabilitation. And finally, we have Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority is allocating $158,438,000 for the Los Angeles Next Gen and Zero Emission Bus Implementation Project to purchase 161 40-foot zero emission battery electric buses. Please note the update to the project title for project number 4 as reflected on the change list. Staff has reviewed this request and finds it consistent with our agenda, the change list, and the program allocations policy. Staff recommends approval of tab 111.
Thank you. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
All right. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Elliott.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the presentation. My questions are about project number 8 in this book item. That's the $158 million for buses for Metro. We heard a presentation yesterday that there's a 3-point-something billion shortfall for the broad transportation plan for LA 28. And we further heard there was very little committed funding from the state of California or the federal government to help offset some of those costs. So I'm obviously interested in how the purchase of 161 buses goes to help alleviate some of that completely and totally unfunded problem that we all face as California. The CTC has many responsibilities, including allocating funding and creating program guidelines. But our very first our very first bullet point in our own mission statement is to advise the legislature and governor on questions of transportation in this state. And it seems to me that we have perhaps no bigger looming problem facing us in the short, medium term than an unfunded Olympics transportation program. So my question here, which I'm of course happy to support $158.4 million to buy buses, is perhaps, Brandy, through you, but if there are representatives from Metro here, how do these buses go or don't go towards the obligations and requirements that we have all collectively signed up for to move people around during the Olympics?
Of course, Shelley from Metro is here.
Thank you.
Good morning, Shelley Kwan from LA Metro. I will say that when we developed this application for the 2022 TIRCP cycle, we were not specific about the uses of the buses for the games, and that we have a regular bus replacement and transition schedule that we've been working towards for several years. So these will go towards that. And some of the buses will be delivered in time for the games, but like Jacqueline Torres spoke to yesterday, I would defer to our operations team for the exact deployment of those buses and buses we may be receiving from other transit agencies. So I'm happy to follow up and come back with a more detailed answer.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Shelley. And I know, you know, operations needs to speak and procurement needs to speak, but if we're looking at a 2,700 bus Delta and we're talking about 161 buses here, a number of which we're being asked to approve an additional 18 months beyond the scope of procurement. You can understand there's a lot of concern here about even if the state were to provide, or the federal government or whomever were to provide funding, whether there's even a procurement strategy to do this. So I'm not, you know, I'm going to support the item. I'm happy to provide the allocation, but I do have a lot of concern about this. And I wonder whether it would be appropriate for CTC staff and Metro staff and staff from all of the other agencies that were represented in that sort of executive committee thing that was on the bottom of Jacqueline's slides, to have a meeting or a series of meetings along with LA 28. I know LA 28 is eager to have those meetings because I asked them. And so I think it would be great if that kind of collaboration could go on, because frankly, while I appreciate you offering to give us an update, I'm not the one who needs the update. And I'd love to hear it, but I also don't want to wait a couple months for the next commission meeting because we're 30, what was the count, 35 months or something like that. So 2 months out of 35 is a pretty significant amount of time when we're looking at procurement. So I'm going to support this item. I appreciate the information. It's not exactly what I wanted to hear, especially because there's a delay that's embedded in this item. And I do hope that perhaps, and Mr. Chair, if now is not the right time to do it, I would sort of more formally request that CTC staff and LA 28 and Metro, but it's not just Metro, it's all of those agencies that are implicated in executing this plan, all come together with some regularity. I certainly don't have to participate. That's not the point. But I hope that, because this is just one thing that we have a little window on because we're being asked to approve this item. There's a bunch of components that we were briefed on yesterday. I hope would all receive the same kind of attention and scrutiny to timeline, because 35 months will go by in the blink of an eye. So thank you for answering my questions. And I hope if this was not the appropriate time to make that request, then I'll do so later more formally. But thank you very much, Shelley. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, I 100% back up your ideas there. And a follow-up question for you. I used to know this number offhand when I worked at APTA, but it's been years. How long does it take usually for a bus to get delivered once you engage the manufacturer? It takes a couple of years, right?
It does take a couple years. I don't know the exact number, but you can see from this item, 161 buses over 5 years, and the map is, I don't know. But we do receive buses in batches, and we have to test and do everything before actually accepting them. So we do receive the buses in batches. And with the shortage of bus manufacturing companies, it is hard for these agencies or companies to take on the number of buses that we ask them to produce.
How many are we down to with domestic manufacturers?
I'm not sure.
I know we've been losing them. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments from the dais? Hearing none, is there a motion? So moved by Vice Chair Falcon, seconded by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you. On to items 112 through 118. Ahmed.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll be addressing tabs 112 through 118 together. These are action items consisting of time extension requests for projects from the State Highway Operation and Protection Program, Active Transportation Program, and Local Partnership Program. Staff has reviewed these requests and determined they are consistent with the respective program guidelines. Please make note of the change list for tab 114, and staff recommends your approval of tabs 112 through 118.
Thank you, sir. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Past Chair Gardino. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Now we're on to item 115, Kayla. Right? Yeah, 115. 115, Kayla.
Commissioner. We're at 119.
Oh, my bad. Okay. I need more coffee, apparently. All right. Okay, 119 through 122, Ahmed.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Tab 119 through 122 are action items for your consideration regarding the approval of time extension amendment as an exception to the SHOP guidelines. Tab 119 is an amendment to the project allocation for 13 SHOP projects. Tab 120 is an amendment of the period of contract award for a SHOP bridge preservation project in San Joaquin County. Tab 121 is an amendment to the project completion period for 3 SHOP projects. And tab 122 is an amendment to the project development expenditure period for 4 SHOP projects. Please make note of the change list for tab 119. Commission staff have reviewed these requests and recommend to your approval.
All right, thank you, sir. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Items 123 through 124. Kenneth.
Commissioners, I will present tabs 123 and 124 with the recommendation at the end. Tab 123 is a request to amend a previously approved project completion time extension for the Trade Corridor Enhancement Program, Route 71 Expressway to Freeway Conversion, Mission Road to Route 60 project in Los Angeles County. The department originally requested a 20-month time extension for the period of project completion due to inclement weather delays and conflicts with utilities. Since the approval of that request, the department has encountered additional delays and is now requesting 13 additional months. A series of fires in the Pacific Palisades and Altadena resulted in the declaration of a natural disaster, triggering the need for additional federal and local resources. Specifically, the fire in Altadena directly affected the construction timeline. Resources such as hauling trucks being utilized for the project had to be diverted to help in areas affected by the fire. Ultimately, this series of events caused a cascading effect in the construction schedule, leading to the inability to complete the project on time. This request aligns with the Commission's interim timely use of funds policy for the 2024 and 2025 Southern California fires. Tab 124 is a request to amend a previously approved project development expenditure time extension for the right-of-way phase for the multi-funded Trade Corridor Enhancement Program and Proposition 1B State Route 99 South Madera 6 Lane project in Madera County. The department originally requested a 12-month time extension for right-of-way expenditure. Since the approval of that request, the department has encountered additional delays and is now requesting 17 additional months. The additional delays include the discovery of a private gas main that must be relocated due to a conflict with a planned drainage basin. Additionally, during the property acquisition process, some affected landowners requested changes to the project's design. These changes led to the identification of additional properties for acquisition. further extending the original timeline. The department continues to work diligently with the property owners and utility companies, and the additional 17 months will allow for the resolution and completion of the utility and right-of-way issues. Upon completion, the department will proceed with processing invoices and reimbursing the utility companies over a 360-day period for work performed during the 17-month extension. Given these extraordinary circumstances presented under tabs 123 and 124, staff recommends approval of these requests.
Thank you, Kenneth. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or a motion? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? A motion is approved. On to items 125 through 127. Jaden.
Take us home, Jaden.
Thank you. Commissioners, we'll take tabs 125 through 127 together. I will present each item individually and provide a recommendation at the end. Tab 125 is an action item to consider approval of a time extension to amend the period of contract award for the locally administered Mission Boulevard Safe and Complete Streets project for the Active Transportation Program, which is in Alameda County. This time extension request is an exception to the Active Transportation Program guidelines. The agency originally requested 3 months for a minor delay in awarding their contract. However, due to the high bidding environment and material cost inflation, the county would like to amend their original request to the maximum time allowed under the program guidelines. Tab 126 is an action item to consider approval of a time extension to amend the period of project development expenditure for 2 locally administered active transportation program projects, which are both in Los Angeles County and were affected by the Southern California fires. The time extension requests are consistent with the adopted interim timely use of funds policy for the Southern California fires, which was approved under Resolution G2551. And finally, tab 127 is an action item to consider approval of a post-fact time extension for the period of project development expenditure for the locally administered Trax at Brea Final Phase Gap Closure Project, which is located in Orange County. This time extension request is also an exception to the Active Transportation Program guidelines. Staff has reviewed tabs 125 through 127 and recommends your approval.
Thank you, Jaden. Any public comment?
There is no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Question, comment, or motion from the dais? So moved by Commissioner Eager. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Tiffany. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. We are now going to public comment at the end of the agenda. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, we have one written statement and a few people are raising their hands right now. I will start by reading the written statement. The Roberti Act requires Caltrans to offer homes to eligible tenants before selling to others. Caltrans is failing in this legal duty by denying eligibility without clear statutory basis, delaying offers to avoid required maintenance, and artificially lowering valuations through property deterioration. As attorney Christopher Sutton has noted, these actions appear intended to sidestep both habitability requirements and accountability under the Roberti Act. The involvement of Veterans Realty Group raises further concerns about conflicts of interest and the circumvention of transparency obligations. Then to move on to attendees with their hands raised, I would like to first call on Fanny Guzman. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Hi, good morning, my commissioners and staff. My name is Fanny Guzman, and I'm here representing tenants that are impacted by the SR7 Telcels program. For years, Caltrans has failed to fulfill the intent of the Roberti Act, which was meant to protect their communities from displacement and preserve affordable housing after the canceled freeway project. Instead, tenants have faced endless delays. What was promised as a 120-day escrow has stretched into years for many of the tenants, such as Tim, Kelly, and Carlos and Ricky, who have shared or will be sharing. Our neighborhoods are suffering from severe deferred maintenance, code violations, and blight. with vacant and deteriorating homes all around us. The sales process itself is confusing, inconsistent, and unfair. Many tenants are being disqualified from purchasing their homes based on unclear or arbitrary criteria. There's no transparency in how income is verified or how prices are set, and Caltrans has shown little interest in resolving these issues. Instead, they seem to be more interested in waiting us out or pushing the tenants out. We know a better way is possible. In the 1980s, a similar program in Echo Park and Silver Lake was completed in just 2 years by HCD with direct tenant engagement and support. We need to return to that model, removing Caltrans from the process and creating a new task force with tenants, HCD, and legislative oversight. We also need a dedicated fund for repairs, city approvals for all sales, and a forensic accountant to resolve disputes. Most importantly, I urge the commission to make the SR7 telesales program a standing agenda item at every CTC meeting. Regular public updates and oversights are essential to ensure transparency, accountability, and progress. Without this, tenants will continue to fall through the cracks and the communities will continue to suffer. Finally, I ask you to impose a moratorium on all non-occupant sales until these issues are addressed. We need real accountability, transparency, and process that puts tenants and communities first, not last. Thank you for your time and attention.
Next, I would like to call on Jennifer Hagginson. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Hello, good morning. I would like to address the group. I'm a tenant with Caltrans in Pasadena. And we are feeling like we're being pushed out of our neighborhoods by the policies put forth by Caltrans. And so what we would like is we want the UTC on the sales process on the agenda. We want a moratorium on any sales of a corridor property that is not to a tenant. We want Carolyn transferred. We want HCD to take over the sales process. We want expedited escrows for tenants already in the sales process. Tenants are being told escrows could take up to 7 years. How is this even possible? Real world escrows are 30 to 90 days at the most. Thank you for listening.
Next, I would like to call on Timothy Iveson. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Hello, this is Timothy Iveson, Caltrans tenant in the 710 corridor. I'm here to ask the CTC to intervene in the 710 sales program as a matter of urgency. In June of 2021, the CTC was already well aware of the substantial problems facing Caltrans in the 710 sales program. Former Director Weiss openly wondered whether Caltrans was the right department to oversee the 710 sales program and whether HCD might be better suited to completing the project. We heard Commissioner Martinez suggest that Caltrans should give the properties directly to the cities if partnerships with HCD or General Services couldn't be worked out. We also heard former District Director Tony Tavares say that he, quote, welcomed an exit strategy. This was 4 years ago, and tenants are still waiting for Caltrans to prove that they have the competency and the will to complete this program in a, quote, fair, ethical, and fast manner, as former Commissioner Layu put it. What this commission did not know at the time is that when the Roberti Act was created in 1979, the legislature did not allow Caltrans to execute the residential sales program for former State Route 2 in Los Angeles, for which the law was initially created. Nobody in the state government actually believed that Caltrans would be able to do the job because Caltrans had fought the Roberti Act at every single stage. The governor directed state HCD to take control of the program in order to ensure its integrity. In the successful Roberti Act sales of hundreds of homes in Echo Park and Silver Lake, no one was excluded or disqualified. Today, Caltrans is still fighting the Roberti Act, still attempting to deny tenants the right to become homeowners in their communities, and in the process denying the most vulnerable, low-income members of our community the right to finally own their homes as the law describes. The CTC and the legislature must intervene before this program completely unravels. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call on Sean Salazar. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Yes, hello. Can everyone hear me? Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, hi. So my name is Sean Salazar. Spoke yesterday a couple times. I live at 5532 Templeton Street, Los Angeles, California, 90032. Excuse me, in the El Sereno area. And I am one of the tenants that is disqualified. Due to insufficient income is what Caltrans claims. I have demanded transparency and I have to fight to get it. That should not be. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to urge Caltrans to give me clarity. Yet that's what's being done. The clarity they provide is absolutely ridiculous when they are claiming my family is short, give or take 20 or 30 bucks to qualify for this program. As I mentioned in previous statements, it is due to an inaccurate and unfactual housing expense requirement. There is no factual way to determine what tenants are going to pay on such housing expenses. For instance, utilities, maintenance, things of that sort, home insurance, and etc. We need change and we need it now. If Caltrans is unable to make those changes, we demand them out. We need results now. The tenants have waited long enough. And I attest and I agree with everyone else's demands that have spoken before me amongst the 710 corridor for these issues. That's all I have. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call on Kelly Brinkman. Please unmute yourself to begin your comment.
Good morning. I just wanted to share that I did send an email in response to the notice of solicitation for multifamily units that I had received from Veterans Realty Group. I received a response yesterday from Carolyn Dabney, letting me know that I would not be able to buy my home, that it would be under fair market value. Again, we have no idea what fair market value is. And my lot encompasses a house that was built in the late 1800s that has been neglected for 60 years, includes a barn that has a gas tank on it, and a tack room, and an old dilapidated house that still has cloth and wire electrical. They neglect that Caltrans has perpetrated on all these properties is, I don't know what word to use for it. But we do need help. We need help in this corridor. We need help from the CTC, our cities, and our legislature. Thank you very much.
There is no more public comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know that we have a commissioner who would like to speak, Commissioner Lugo.
Thank you, Chair. Want to thank the public commenters for their patience in waiting to the end of the agenda so we could hear what they wanted to share in the meeting. And I am hoping we can get an update from Caltrans, both District 7 and any central right-of-way and land survey folks who have insight into how this process is going at our next meeting. And specifically addressing some of the concerns we've heard regarding timeline, eligibility. I'm specifically interested in a couple of things. One is around whether recent legislative actions that are intended to speed up building new urban infill housing and suspending environmental regulations in order to give some relief so that we can address our housing crisis more rapidly. If there's anything relevant from there or similar kinds of policy work that could provide some relief in this case. So wondering if there's any, recent policy changes that might be relevant here. And then the other area I'm interested to hear updates from Caltrans is around staffing. I think I recall at the May 2024 meeting that we were told there were going to be some additional staff resources put toward the 710 North housing, just because this is it's been going on a long time. There's a lot to process, so just kind of want to hear about that. And I want to note that it's concerning to me as a commissioner to hear the name of a specific staff person coming into comments, and I'm just feeling a little concerned about how staff are being supported through this trying process, and want to ensure that if there's anything we can do from the commission side to share a sense of both wanting to get this process moving as quickly as it can, while also not putting undue burdens on particular staff members at Caltrans. I know that's something we're all interested in helping out with. So looking forward to getting that update. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate your thoughtful approach. I'd like to offer the opportunity for Caltrans to address this if you like this time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Lugo. We have provided updates on the Roberti process in the past, and certainly we'd be happy to provide, updates where we are. These are complex laws and regulations. I will say, we do believe we are interpreting these correctly. I'm going to acknowledge there's a shortage of affordable housing. And this opportunity, of course, is one that we want to make sure that we're providing this opportunity according to those laws and regulations as we do our best to administer this. Commissioner Lugo, thank you for your comment regarding our staff doing their best to do their job. We also intend to make sure that we're providing the appropriate support to them. But we will work with CTC staff to, for any, whatever questions and parts of this that we would like to see addressed, and we'll prepare to come back at a future commission meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'd like to also offer the opportunity of any commissioners who'd like to make a comment or statement at this time on the item. On public comment, Commissioner Eager.
Yes, just before we close, well, first, whoever had the over under at 11, you win. I did want to say a special thank you to Paul for adeptly jumping in and taking over those reins when Tanisha fell in a hole. We really appreciate the fact. Yeah.
Story for that.
It was really seamless, and I know that wasn't something you expected to do, and I know your staff appreciated it, and we never even noticed that there was a break in the action here. So if you all will help me congratulate Paul and thank him for all of this.
Yeah, I just want to add my comments to Paul. You've been a great collaborator. I've really enjoyed working with you. You're like a natural. Yeah, absolutely. And to Mike Keever, thank you for all your service to the state. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. And Vice Chair, thank you for welcoming us to your home. And it was great seeing all the projects you've been working on all this time. And San Diego's great, and so are you. And we really appreciate you. Thank you.
And we're welcoming you to Merced.
Oh, yes, Merced. That's right. And thank you to staff as usual, always on point. Anyone else like to make a comment before we adjourn? All right, hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.